Thank you, have a seat. Moving on to roll call.
All right. Ron Knupp,
Present.
Kenneth Hall,
Present.
Bonnie Almond,
Here.
Trevor Stone,
Here.
Ron Glassick,
Here.
Judy Haldeman,
Here.
Jason Donahue,
Here.
Judy Kutzler,
Here.
Mayor Tony Pristash,
Here.
and Mason Smallman.
Here.
Next, approval minutes of the public workshop meeting held on August 1st, 2024, and the regular public meeting held on August 15th, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve these minutes?
Motion.
Motion made by Mr. Hall. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Knapp. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to hearing of persons present. If you have anything to say, move to the microphone. Say your name and give us what you'd like to talk about. Next, President's Report. The only thing that I came up with today was if you have in your packet, you have the Northampton Regional Ambulance Emergency Medical Report. And I'd like to draw attention to that. We're so blessed to have them in our community. We're beyond blessed. Emergency services are a minute away from any home in this borough. And this is the basic financial report. They responded in the borough to 1,617 emergencies in Northampton and 6,400 emergencies in total. Now what that means is the majority of calls are not in this borough, but they're here. And we have to be extremely grateful that they choose to stay here. They write off in insurances or non-pay, people don't pay, $2,950,000 annually in bad debt. And contractual obligations. They greatly depend on our support, whether through financial assistance or in-kind benefits, and your contributions are vital to our ability to provide services. That was part of the letter that Northampton Regional sent to us. But I'd like to say this. We all in the borough, we all get a notice for an ambulance subscription. Only 21% of the borough responded to that. And that is what they depend on, more than what we give. Outside of the borough, for instance, the townships in the boroughs that they service, those boroughs pay the ambulance. But we work it on a subscription. And that subscription is $40 for a household. And I think it's 40 and 60. 40 for an individual, 50 for a senior household. Or 65 for your household under 65. The organization does not allow individuals or households to become subscribers outside of the borough. That municipality pays a lump sum for all the members of its community. So they work on contributions and grants, but they particularly wanted us to know. It's sort of like when you go to the doctor and the doctor bills $185 and Medicare only pays $50 and they write it off. It's the same thing here. So for the public to be aware, they need those subscriptions. And the other part of, one more thing, I'm just so grateful that they're with us, because they sure don't need to be. they would have a faster response time if they were on 329 or 248, but they're on Canal Street. And a borough-owned building, mind you, but that's where they are. So when you see an ambulance attendant, say thank you. And we also are going to need our committee chairs and department supervisors to come together with the borough manager for your budget request. I don't think you've had a response for that where people, have you been contacted?
A little, yeah.
Okay, but we need to get that done, correct? So if you're a committee chair, please get with Brian and let's get this budget going. Other than that, I'll move on to the mayor's report.
Thank you very much. Borough Council, we are on a roll as a borough. After I mentioned at last meeting, the great evolution we have with the new borough manager, assistant borough manager, and all the great things going on in Northampton. If you were around Saturday, and judging by everybody's participation, you were for our street fair. Northampton Press considers it a fair like no other. So for the 35 years that we have had the street fair hosted by the Northampton Area Chamber of Commerce, this street fair was an outstanding event for not only the borough, but all our citizens, for visitors across, for our vendors, and for everyone along Main Street who enjoyed that day. Our council here was very, very well represented, and I've never had a turnout like that for a borough council that I've seen in all the years. So thank you, council, for coming out and participating. Mason and his family were there, and special thanks to Councilman Ron Glassick, who actually came out early and helped do setup. Part of his old chamber bones were supporting us there, because Ron was a Chamber of Commerce member years ago, of course. So the street fair, as I mentioned, was a huge success, starting from the top with the Greater Lehigh Valley and Northampton Area Chambers partnership, followed up with our Public Works Department, which performed flawlessly as far as their timing, the efforts they did to get everything together, and I want to thank our new borough manager for the easy, smooth transition we had. It was spotless. It really was. For the first time in 35 years, I got on my bike to head uptown as one of the first people. First time in 35 years, there were no cars on Main Street that had to be moved. It was amazing to just look all the way up 21st Street, not a single car that we can get ready to go. Borough can come out, get everything set up without any obstacles. So it was a highlight day for Northampton, and we continue to keep rolling. So good news on that front. Secondly, on our Pennsylvania Borough News, on the front cover, it's Main Street Matters. It's a picture of Governor Shapiro presenting the Main Street program in Hummelstown, which is going across the state. I'd like to say that the Main Street Matters program has now come to Northampton. Okay, I've been invited to the owner's team at the PNC Bank to hear what they have going on and to talk about possibilities for the PNC Bank. Okay, this past Tuesday, he had Fadia Halma, who is the Lehigh Valley representative for the DCED, who's supporting this program, on a Zoom call talking about the availability of funds for this Main Street Matters program. With that in mind, I passed it on to the borough manager this afternoon. We discussed it, and from here, I know that they're going to be looking for a resolution from the borough supporting this. This is no financial obligation at all for the borough. Let me just say that. We don't have a downtown manager or a Main Street program of our own, so the borough would substitute in that manner. There'll be more details later. It's in the hands of our borough manager. So we'll take it from there, and at the next meeting, the owner of the PNC Bank would like to come in and present his case to Borough Council. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just a liaison, just to let you know that there is great interest in keeping that bank as a anchor facility in the borough, and that we can look forward to someone coming in and wanting to spend the money to get this done. This Main Street Matters project is across the state. It's very ambitious, and all we have to do is support the people who want to come in Northampton and build in Northampton and grow. So, borough manager has everything from here. And a little nostalgia, Council President Kutzler. in the archives, I came across this very nice picture of a very spry predecessor of mine, Mayor Kutzler.
Oh,
I'd like you to
thank
have that
Well, thank you.
and enjoy it, and hope it brings a lot of good memories back for you and Jean.
Thank you.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving on to Solicitor's Report, Attorney Stewart.
I don't have anything at this moment.
Oh, do I still have a job? Okay, thank you. Well, just asking. Okay, moving on to reports from committees. We'll start with Administration and Finance. Mr. Hall.
Thank you. A meeting was held on Tuesday, September 17th with Brian Welsko, Jerry Sorrentis, and Keith Nowak with GoGov regarding their zoning and code enforcement products. And there were 394 live stream views on September 5th council meeting. And a report?
Thank you. Building, Land, and Recreation. Ms. Haldeman.
Thank you. The last day for the farmer's market will be this Tuesday, September 24th. And Public Works was draining the pool for the year and discovered a significant drop in the water level. They suspect a substantial leak which will need to be investigated and addressed before next season. End report.
Code and Police, Mr. Stone.
Yes, thank you. The Northampton Borough Police Department attended the Uptown Street Fair on Saturday, September 14th, and again provided child safety IDs. I think this is the first year that we didn't have any children doing that. Civil service testing is tentatively scheduled for October 5th, 2024. This includes both written and agility testing. We also received the code enforcement reports for August. 23 concerns, and 10 of those are closed, which means that there's still 13 in progress. We also received the Northampton Borough Police Department report for August 2024. We had 562 dispatches, 167 incident reports filed, and 13 accident investigations completed. And the report.
Thank you. Fire and Health, Mrs. Almond.
Thank you. Enclosed in your packet are the 2023 financial statements from the Northampton Regional Emergency Medical Services that President Kutzler was just referring to earlier. The Board of Health will meet on Tuesday, September 24th at 7 p.m. And on Thursday, today, September 19th, Keith Knobloch, David Strain, and Brian Wasco met with Volunteer Fire Service regarding the loan for the Pierce Enforcer Heavy Duty Rescue Pumper. End report.
Thank you. Public Works and Sewer, Mr. Glassick.
Thank you. On Friday, September 13th, the Public Works Sewer Committee, which consisted of Ms. Bonnie, Ms. Haldeman, Mr. Stone, and myself, as well as the Borough Manager, Brian Welsko, and the Assistant Borough Manager, Jerry Sorrentis. We toured the Nazareth Borough Sewer Municipal Authority plant. I never thought I would get excited about a sewer plant like I did. It's hard to believe, but it is just like the state of the art. And, they had some fortune found, dug up, if you want to say, and they sold land up there that really resulted in what they could do. But if you want to match what a sewer company or a sewer plant should look like, if you ever go out in the Tatamy area or Tatamy Road, you should just definitely take a look at it. But it was eye-opening, and we are continuing to do our upgrades that fits our borough, but we're going to definitely support that gentleman because his recommendations carry a lot of weight with what he's running out there. Progress is being made on the finding of the Christmas tree for this year. We will be a definite answer soon. That is the end of my report.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to unfinished business. There isn't any, thank you. Okay. We will start with the comments on the agenda. Consider request for parking in front of the Roxy Theater.
On November 2nd, 2024, a wedding is being held at the Roxy Theater. We have received a request to park a vintage Ford Model T in front of the Roxy for a short period of time in order for the bride and groom to take photos.
Do I have a motion to honor this request?
I make a motion.
By Mr. Knopf,
Second.
by Ms. Almond. Any questions?
I have a question. So are we gonna block off? for that time that it's parked there so they can take pictures?
That was not in the request.
Okay.
It was just to be allowed to park in front.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider change in council meeting date.
Due to the Jack Frost Parade on October 17th, 2024, we need to change the date of the second council meeting in October. Historically, the meeting was held on the Wednesday prior to the Jack Frost Parade. This year, it would be on October 16th, 2024.
Do I have a motion to approve this request?
Motion.
Mr. Donahue,
Second.
I didn't, Knopf, Mr. Knopf, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Consider the request of Nazareth Area Chamber of Commerce.
The Nazareth Area Chamber of Commerce is requesting use of the band trailer on Friday, December 13th for their Christmas in Nazareth event. They will be required to pay a $300 rental fee and a $100 delivery and setup fee. They will also be required to provide a certificate of insurance naming the Borough of Northampton as additionally insured. In addition, they also did request 3 other dates in 2025. The Chamber is aware that these dates are on hold depending on what the Borough decides to do with the band trailer for next year.
What is the motion of this council?
Make a motion.
Mr. Knopf, second.
Second.
Mr. Hall, any questions?
Question?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Question.
Go ahead, Ms. Sullivan.
Judy?
Brian, are there other organizations that have band trailers in this area, to your knowledge at this point?
Not that I'm aware of. Mayor and I were just talking about that the other day, and we can't. No, not, if they do, they don't rent it.
They don't
I
rent.
think Allentown City has one, but they don't, I don't think, I doubt if they rent.
He's one of the only that rent it, so.
And we've looked into, and I know it's a pretty, a
Yeah.
substantial amount to get this fixed. Is there any merit to looking into getting it repaired though and increasing
Just-
our rental prices
okay,
since it
I
seems to
understand.
be in such demand?
It's a possibility. Rich and I have talked about it. It's gonna cost anywhere between 25 and
Yeah,
30 to
it's-
fix
it's
it.
substantial.
Even if we raise the rent, we only make a couple thousand if
Okay,
we're lucky
so
a
it's-
year. And he said by the time we would even make that money back, we would have to repair something else in the
Okay.
roof again.
Just the
Okay.
date.
So, and we're looking at over 100, maybe about 120 to buy a new one of the same size. Smaller, you're looking at about 60.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
As requested.
Mr. Glassick,
My question was along the same line, if we could raise the rental fee and get it fixed. I mean, there is definitely a demand for it. I mean, you can see the list of the dates that they have, and there's other organizations. And not only we could probably provide those stainless steel porta potties too, but we have probably the state of art if we would take the time and look at maybe building some funds up to build one or make one or
Yeah.
buy one if we have to. Because I think it definitely has a lot of value to it, I think.
What about looking into Bethlehem Tech and seeing if any of the students there could repair it as a project for, because they do welding, or even at, Lehigh County Community College is another area where they do have some classes in terms of their training. There's certainly other places out there, welding kind of facilities. Can we look into that and ask them if there's any way we could partner with them and see if they'd be willing to, help us out here?
It's worth a shot. I mean, I
Right.
know a big
Exactly.
price is for the sheer large piece of metal that we would
That you
need
would
to do
require
it.
to fix?
But if they know something or a way to get it cheaper, it's worth a shot. I can reach out to the coordinator at the school and then
And just see if
see
they
if we can
could
get in
send us there
contact with
somewhere.
someone.
I see the thought of that and the requests for it. But in addition, you also have to take in the fact that the borough, the employees that you use, we don't charge a whole lot to do it. And even at what we do it, how many men do you send, you guys, you probably know better, how many guys do you send?
3.
3 guys to send, and 3 guys, what, 3 to pick
One
it up as well?
one driver, and then.
Yeah,
whatever
I
else
mean,
will
you
go.
gotta figure that all into it too. How long is it gonna be till you recoup? Like,
On average, if we make maybe 5 or 6 grand, if we're lucky, and that's because Rich has really been trying to get them so he can drop them off during the week, so we necessarily have to pay them, we don't have to pay extra to have them go on a Saturday and
Right.
pick it up.
What?
So, 5,000-6,000
It
maybe,
is,
so
that's-
figure
I mean,
you're
it's
looking at,
just a lot of numbers to
6-7
figure.
years,
It's not
yeah.
just the rental fee itself. I
Right.
mean, that's the thing, but then you gotta get all those aspects in it. It just,
In
It's like a
addition,
no-win situation.
if
but-
we do fix it, we then need to build something or find storage space for it, because right now it's just in the environment, which is just killing it slowly over time.
Watching them put it away at the street fair, it took a substantial effort above and beyond anything they've ever had to do before. And it was an engineering feat to close that thing up, and I was like, wow. So not only did he put the people out there, but now they have a longer, tougher job to do to get it opened and closed. So,
Right.
just an observation.
I've been advised to get a clarity on this motion. This motion would be only then for the 13th. We're not acting on these other 3 dates for 2025. Is that correct?
Sure.
Do you understand that? Just for the 13th?
Correct.
Is that okay, Attorney? Okay. Motion was made to approve by Mr. Knuff, second by Mr. Hall. All those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on to reports from council members. We'll start with Mr. Knuff this time.
Oh, could we possibly look into the area of, see, there was that Paul Street going towards the railroad, where the old Borough building used to be, the apartments. Seems like needs some cleanup there. A lot of debris, and the traffic is very bad on that corner. People walking, and then you have the utility pole right there near the tracks. It's like a big gully there. Maybe
Yep.
correct that or something like that.
I'll
so you-
take a look.
And you could take, and then people could, or have a pullover spot
Sure.
on the opposite side of the street there. Very hard to see some people sometimes when they're walking, or a car, you might be parked down at the other end of Railroad Street before they could get through.
You got it.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Glassick.
Just the same thing off of what the mayor said. The street fair was phenomenal. It was a perfect day for it. I mean, I couldn't believe the amount of crowd that was down there. It was very well attended. I thought it was just a great community event, and I'm looking forward to continue that going on through many years. Very interested to hear what PNC wants to do, or plans to do with that building up there, because I'll be the first to say we don't need another apartment house. You know, and I know that sounds, maybe harsh, but we're gonna have one on this side of town. We don't have the infrastructure to handle it, both by police, fire, and a lot of other things in our roads to have that. So I hope that's not gonna be the main discussion about what they can renovate it into an apartment house.
Okay.
But my concerns only. I thought that was incredible to have that many live streaming last month, 394, even though I think you couldn't hear it. Some people were telling me that they didn't hear the speakers very good. It might have been user error, but I won't say anything.
Hey, don't look at me.
Just a joke.
I was told just to hit the button to record it. It didn't.
But it's working fine right today. Thank you, Megan, back there.
All
Yeah.
Megan. Better user today.
That was just a joke for everybody. Looking forward to the fall events that we'll have going on in the borough. So I think that was a great idea by Ms. Haldeman for the Bethlehem Votech School to see if they could do something with that trailer, because that's like a project that schools look to have done. So that'd be great to see if we can do something with that. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Mr. Donahue.
Thank you. First things first, welcome, Jerry. Nice to
Thank
see you
you.
up here. I'd like to thank Brian Welsco and Public Works for fixing the issue I addressed with you. Greatly appreciate it. Now we just need to arrange to see if it actually works.
Eventually.
Yeah, yeah. Two questions I have also for you.
Mhm.
Garbage cans. I know you're not allowed to put them out 24 hours.
Right.
How about 24/7 in front of the house? No?
That would be a no.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'll give you addresses.
Okay.
And next thing, when's our garbage contract up?
It'll go out for bid next September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm just seeing everybody's garbage bills are going up 46, 78,
Mhm.
88%.
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting for that shocking bill now.
It is. It's gonna go up
I know it's
a
going to.
bit. Yeah.
So, okay, end of my report. Thanks.
Ms. Haldeman.
Thank you. I just want to send a big thank you to Troop 93 for the great job they did on the sign and the landscape at the food bank garden on Canal Street. It looks very nice down there. So thank you for that. And I'd like to take this moment just asking for prayers along with mine For Kim Davis, wife Kathy, and his family. I was saddened to hear of his passing yesterday. Those who have lived in Northampton for a long time and/or had children attend Northampton High School know him as a very well-respected teacher and coach for a long time. Thank you. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Mason?
Yes, I would just like to say that the street fair was like a great event. I think all the vendors and foods made it so that a lot of people can see the good side of Northampton here. And I think that going forward, we should look to having more of these events as it really shows the best of the community. And on top of that, I think the band trailer idea is a great idea for like a senior project. And I think a lot of people there would be interested in it.
Thank you. Maybe you can organize the Christmas festival. That would be a great idea. Thank you. Ms. Holland?
Thank you. I actually just have one question. There's been some activity up in the First Ward in terms of property by, I think it's the end of Main Street and Chief Kadingo. Can you help me out with that alley is there?
Oh.
So it's kind of dead ends if you're coming, you
27th and Main.
27th and Main, but
Yeah.
that triangle of property where they, has become a dumping area for people's grass and trees. And I think it's really just lack of knowledge that, or people have done it, and so then everyone assumes it is, and there's kind of a gully and a trench in there. But I've certainly received some phone calls of people being a little disappointed with that, and the police have been very responsive with going up there and addressing it when they see the people doing it. But if they don't see them doing it, we're having this buildup of brush and things in that area. So my question, and my long-winded story there is, could we have a no dumping sign made and put in there that would at least then give, if the police do find that and then could track it down, that we could be a little bit more effective, and maybe a fine, as much as I don't, like to do that, but we need to get the attention to it. And then I've also noticed that, again, I wanted to clarify, that is borough property, because this was more recent, but I've started to see people driving four-wheelers with their children on that piece of property, and then using the alley, which is, I refer to as an alley, but it's really a street now, because of where the homes are up there, driving back and forth to their home to get to that. And I actually, myself, because I do live in that area, obviously witnessed a child, and again, I'm guessing, but I'm confident under the age of 10, driving a four-wheeler on that street then. I'm just concerned for somebody to be hurt. Because the traffic on in that area it's busy. There's a lot more homes up there, a lot more people unaware, and you're certainly not going to be expecting a four-wheeler to be coming at you with some kids on it.
We'll look into it. Jared and I were just talking. We're not 100% sure if Lafarge might own that. So
I
if
wasn't
they do,
sure who owned that. I wasn't sure either. I
yeah.
was
So
gonna ask.
we'll look
Okay,
into it.
well,
If we don't, then we'll reach out to them.
I was gonna say, can we reach out to Lafarge,
Aware,
just,
send a letter
and could we ask them, like we'd have to ask them permission, or they would
Right.
have to put the dump?
we take care of it.
I was gonna say, it's
We take
maintained
care
by
of
the
it,
borough. I see
so-
the guys doing the grass mowing all the
We
time,
maintain it for
so.
some reason, done it for years.
And,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give credit to
We're just
Public
extra
Works,
friendly.
because I know that they actually went down there when it was recently dumped up, and they on their own went in there and emptied it out. So
Right.
again, Public Works went above and beyond.
That
in
area
terms
down
of
that corner, that big stop sign that's
Correct,
right
well,
down
and
there. We
the-
try to always maintain that guardrail back there too, but it just gets overgrown so
That's
quickly.
it, yeah. And I believe that was actually worked upon, especially when they were in there doing the sewer pipe that's
There's-
coming in from the new development up in Allen Township. But yes, they do, Public Works does a great job in there. The field looks great, and again, I commend them for having just gotten out of the truck and picked up the brush and emptied. I appreciated it, because it doesn't look nice in that area, and it does get overgrown, but I would really like it if we could look into
Yeah,
that.
we'll look
Thank
into
you,
it and
thank
take
you, I
care of it. Yep.
appreciate it. That's the end of my request.
Am I up?
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's smart.
No, I can touch. I agree, the street fair was well organized and very well attended. Quite warm for September, actually, but I still prefer that over the cold and rainy, so I'll take it anytime. So it was a great event.
Thank you.
Do we have a status update on the bridge at Willowbrook Road? I know,
It is.
anyone living on 10th Street in Savage area probably would prefer
We were
to have
the-
the bridge out.
The last I heard of it, near end of October, so I'm imagining November. I heard just recently too that they said by the end of the year, so, I hear different
So it
things.
is getting pushed, I mean, it doesn't look like they're close, honestly.
No, so I think their intention was October,
Okay,
then became end of year.
all right, that makes sense.
Mhm.
The bank trailer, I'm all for it if we can get it fixed up cheap, but if we can't, I think we really should preserve it for Northampton functions. It'd be a shame if we keep renting this thing out, wear and tear on it,
Right.
and then we don't have one for ourselves. So I think that's something that we really need to evaluate. You know, again, if we can fix it up and continue to rent it out, great, but if not, I think we really should save it for Northampton. I think that's all. That's it. My report.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hall?
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna add to Council President's report on the ambulance. I personally made use of the ambulance in January. Unfortunately, it happened at my son's house, which is up in North Whitehall. So I got called, they called Northern Valley, obviously. I am a subscriber over here, but, so even in turn, the fact that it was mutual aid, insurance is paid, but the insurance is paid, and then the rest of it was wiped at, North Whitehall with Northampton Emergency. So it's stuff like that, I am a subscriber, but I'm not a subscriber to North Whitehall. And the mutual aid thing, that just whole internet, so
So
it's
wherever
a
you are,
good.
right? Is
Pardon?
that correct? Wherever you are, they have
Well, I couldn't
mutual
choose where the
aid.
accident, where that happened, but that's where they happened to pick me up.
Right.
I couldn't get moved to Northampton, so they could come pick me up.
No,
And-
what I'm
and
saying is they recognize.
In the past, they used to ask, well, I was like semi-unconscious, so they couldn't ask me what ambulance I wanted to have respond as well. They took the closest one. But, yeah, it would be, the whole mutual aid thing, and then they washed the rest of it, so. So just adding to that, and in people doing their walks, walking dogs and doing whatever. Now's the time of year starting to get dark earlier. Streetlights, can you mark for a streetlight in front of the library?
Yep.
And I only know that because doing football traffic, it seems like every year we're up there, one of them on that intersection is out and we're in the dark. The one on the side of the library was out last year, this year it's the one in front of the library. So it's not one on school property, which the other one was, but this one here is on Labach at the corner of Kids Way or whatever they call, the
Got it.
streets are. So, that's all I got, and the report.
Well, thank you. Moving on to announcements by Mr. Welsco.
All right, so if you remember recently, we had the work done at 105, 107 Lawbach with sewer pipe. After they gave us the quote, it was anticipated at about 66,000. We just got the invoice today and it was 18,627. So
Wow.
phenomenally cheaper because there's not a lot of laterals that needed to be worked on. And they were only there for a day, so.
You get the trailer fixed.
It's actually, it's actually unusual that they come in.
Yeah, they came in and out, and we already have them looking at possibly doing other stuff down there in the canal area.
That's great.
And that's great news. On Tuesday, I met with Christy from the Cindy Miles Adaptive Fund. We do have a meeting scheduled for Tuesday at 10:30 with the representative from the playground equipment company. So if anyone would like to attend, it's gonna be at 4th Street, 10:30 on Tuesday. They're gonna go over and work on the new renderings for it. And so we can kind of go over and see exactly what all can be fit in the space. So and then we'll get new renderings for it and everything. The other thing is if you haven't seen, they are already working on the 21st Street pump station. They already have it on bypass, so it is being worked on. They did send over a change order because of the parts taking so long to get delayed, we just had to sign off for it. So it should take a couple months to finish all that work in there because they're essentially redoing the whole pump station. So anticipate that for a bit as well. And that is all I have.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay. Do I have a motion by council member to close the meeting, pay the bills?
I make a motion to
I
pay
wanted
the
to
bills.
close. Motion made by Ms. Amin. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Donahue. Questions?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have the pages or anything except I just wrote these numbers down that stood out.
Okay.
Is it seriously, there was $425 for a door handle for the rec center?
Yes, it was. It was a specialty door handle. That's the one.
And I guess it was specialty, was it gold?
Apparently. I guess it was on back order and they had to order it because it's a special for the gymnasium door.
Like, you mean,
I
like
think
a
there's
push
like
bar?
more like, they're more like panic bars or
Yeah.
push bars.
Oh.
They're
This one does
It's
not.
not like a regular,
No, it's a regular door handle.
It's a regular door handle, that's what I thought, cause all they did was hook some kind of zip tie
Yeah,
on it to
yeah.
pull it
In
open.
the meantime, until it came
I was
in.
told it's kind of because of the style, that because it's an older building.
Wow.
Older
so they had
building,
a
older
special
door.
order.
Should go in the
Probably cheaper than getting a whole new door.
There was
Well,
talk
things like
about
that.
adding a push bar onto it,
Yeah.
but because he needs to lock that door for
Okay.
certain events, he doesn't want to do that.
Thank you for the clarity, at least I know. There was a passenger side mirror on one of the vehicles for
For the
400.
sewer truck, sewer truck.
That was $475?
Yeah, it was down for a while, and they finally were able to get a new one in,
They had to
because
get
it's
an,
automated.
oh, it's automatic,
Automatic, yeah.
okay, all right. What's the Henry generator service that we had? Was that for the community center? Cause there was generator
No,
service.
Henry, for the 491.87?
Yes.
No, that's down at the sewer plant, just the
Okay.
pump station.
Has anything been talked about at the generator getting serviced up at the community center? I thought that had
I think it has been.
Yeah.
It has been?
I think last year it was serviced.
Okay. And I don't know what this is, but I'm just asking, the sympathy and retirement gifts, $2,400?
Which, what was it? Oh, so what happens is it's not actually all going to that. What happens is anytime we pay by statement, it takes whatever the first thing is and our
Okay.
software.
So it's not
And
all-
that same
I
thing that happened
I
with
didn't
the
think we had that
last-
many people retired.
No,
and
it,
definitely
uh,
don't hope we didn't have that many people die.
No.
When it says sympathy and retirement, I'm thinking, are we gonna have anybody even left at the borough?
No, what it,
$2,400.
for every account, so like if you'll see in like the Ace Hardware ones, it says everything is for like weed killer.
I think
Well,
yeah.
It's not actually all weed
Okay,
killer.
okay,
It's
good.
so there's like 10 or 12 different accounts and
Yes.
stuff gets charged to, and because of our software, it takes whatever the first one is and puts that on everyone.
So can I jump in there, though? I thought we had that company that comes and resupplies.
Right, but they
So-
don't, there's certain things they do resupply, there's certain things they don't. So for instance, like through the weed killer, they had no choice because they're more bits and bolts done with it.
And where are we using all this weed killer at, since there's?
It's not, the whole thing, it's just a small amount of weed killer. They've
Okay,
been
so it's
spraying.
all the other
They're filling their
products that
vats
you're
to
buying
spray,
too?
yes.
Okay, that was
We
my,
actually don't buy a lot of weed killer from Ace. We actually buy it
Yeah.
in bulk.
okay,
Well, bulk, we buy it by.
thank you. Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Glassick.
It's all right.
So can I
But it's a
just ask,
concentrated.
Yes.
when it's printing, does it consolidate like that? But on the actual computer, you can
So when
open
you,
it up and drop down?
when you go into the software, when you click on like, it breaks it apart whether it's from the sewer fund for sewer project or for the general fund for everything else. And when you click on, you can go by vendor, and when you go to whatever check that was paid, it will break down to every account and what it's for.
Okay, so just printing
It's just the way
consolidates
it prints it in the ledger.
Okay.
Mr. Glassick?
Thank you. I see that we have two different type of pest controls, Airlick and Soul Pest Control. Why aren't we using just one for a better price?
I question that too. Sol typically comes out for emergency or spot treatments. So for instance, when Ehrlich comes scheduled at around the same time every month, but if there's like a bee infestation, say in a railroad tie at Canal Street, they'll come out and spray it real quick if it's something that's like an emergency, or at the pool.
Okay,
But yes, I agree with you on that as well.
great.
So Ehrlich doesn't come out for emergencies?
We have them through the contract, it's just to come out once, or depending on how many weeks they come, every 3 or 4 weeks. So they do the Siegfried Station, Rec Center, Fire Station.
It's a good time to do budgets right now. We could definitely,
I agree.
Suggest
It was
that.
already on my list.
so, okay. That is the end of my questions.
Any other questions?
I have a question. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead. You go for it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My only one was, so, and again, it's more of a clarification at this
Sure.
point based on what you said, so the pipeline bill where there's the multiple listings of octane diesel, that's just all our
Yes, so-
oil delivery to?
Exactly, so what happens is we just happened for the same AP run.
Okay.
We had both ordered gas and diesel, and they all get broken out to the different departments that we have based off of who orders what and how much.
And the Pitney Bowes, that is all the mailing things?
That is all,
and-
since we got a new mailing machine, you'll notice that it comes up more frequently. It's because we can do certified mail directly from that now.
But we're paying a lease to utilize
Yes,
some of their
we have a
equipment?
contract fee because we don't necessarily own the machine. It's just like how we don't own printers.
And how, is that lease an annual lease, or is that,
I think it's every 3 or 4 months.
wow,
I don't know, how much was
I think
it?
it's gotta be good.
$516?
Then it might be 6 months. I'll look at it and I can let you know.
Okay.
They
Thank
come
you.
out and repair it and fix it.
Yeah, they come, yeah, it covers
I
everything.
understand that, all office equipment, but I thought that was all private. Okay,
What,
thank
what,
you.
what page is it on?
Bottom of
This
page 4.
four, thank you.
Whitney Road. Yeah, so the lease is, okay, yeah, so it's covered in the, yeah, so you'll see every month we get roughly about a bill for it because how often they send out certified letters.
Okay.
And then, yes, the rental, it looks like here it's saying 7/9 to 8/24, but it does not come up that often.
Okay, thank you.
I'll look at it and I can give you a more detailed
Okay,
answer when I look at it.
thank you.
Yeah, that's way too much for every month.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, good, thank you.
Question I have is, with 4249's repair, did it come in under budget, over budget? Is there anything left? I have to do detailing and lettering of it yet, if there's anything
I
left.
think it was on the last AP. I think it came around right around what it was supposed to be.
Just look into
I'll
it.
look
That's
into it. I
fine. If
can
there's
give you a
anything
number.
left, I'll put it towards what we gotta
Yeah.
spend to get it lettered.
Yep.
And if there isn't, then it is what it is. That's all I have.
Mr. Stone?
No further questions?
I have one more question.
Oh, you do?
I
Okay.
do, I actually, I meet with Public Works, on a monthly basis, and I just had some notes here, I just wanted to ask, with the Cindy Miles, park renovations that we're doing over at the Fourth Street Playground, it's phenomenal, and hopefully we have a borough supporting that like there's no tomorrow. But the baseball field or softball field that's in the back there, is there any plans that we could get that taken apart, that it's not a baseball field, because you surely don't want them having a softball game down the road, it doesn't get used.
Right.
You know, we
Could
could even
take
put
apart.
small youth soccer there if we wanted to for, you know, for youth, like 10 and under or something like that.
We,
But it would be a lot more better to see that kind of family,
Pickleball. Pickleball.
no, not even over there. 'Cause I think I wanna dedicate that more as a park for,
yeah,
you know, that area that we can have.
we've already talked, and Ron and I have talked too, because about how it is not really regulation much, and we don't want in a brand park, that the brand new park that's gonna be larger than what we have now in terms of footprint.
It'd be close.
We don't want it to get hit, it doesn't really get used, and we've even talked about possibly making it more of like an educational park and doing something, whether it be like putting like another type of garden or type of like educational activities for kids to come. So, when Christy and I were talking and her father the first time, I'm not sure if it was the meeting that
How was that?
you were at, but we talked about maybe doing something else with it there, but I agree with you, Ron.
Thank you. Sorry about bringing these things up then at this time, but it's still around anything on their budget, when you need their budget by, the Public Works
End
site?
of the month.
The end of this month. Okay.
It was in the letters that were all sent out.
Because I went over it with the Public Works, I
Yeah.
didn't get a chance to go down to the sewer, I don't know if anybody else did yet, but it should be then to you then.
Yep. Well, I have the one from the fire and sewer. I have their budgets,
Okay.
what they've requested. No, what they do is they submit what they want, and then we all meet together to go over it.
Okay,
Any other questions?
that's it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. I just had one more question, Kent. What's the status of the emergency operations center?
Getting information, it's like a 30, 40 page thing, so I'm getting information in from Nobby's filling out a bunch on the fire end. I'm going to get together with Rich for some equipment and stuff that, you know, I don't know all the borough equipment that, you know, just, the more we can, the report can be what you want it to be. So
Okay,
I'm trying to get in as much as we can.
is there a deadline?
No.
Okay,
Nope.
all right, thank you. I need a motion by a council member to adjourn the meeting.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Did we leave somebody out, Judy? Okay. You look like puzzled.
No, sorry.
A motion made by who?
Can
By Mr. Hall, and a second by
Mr.
Trevor,
Stone?
Mr. Stone.
Mr. Stone. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.